Mic check, mic check. Okay, there we go. All right, give us a second.
In an era of online
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem HaMashiach Yahushai. All right, this Deacon Hakai, back with another Situation Room, number 25. Number 25. Sarai, if you want to take that in your room, you can plug it in your room. But anyway, let me know if you guys can hear it. Like, share, subscribe. Put a 1 in the chat if you could hear me clearly. 1's in the chat if you could hear me clearly. All right, cool. We got Sakari Chicago in the building. Moderators in the building. Ready to moderate your ass. Supposed to be having a brother on so we could have a discussion about a few things, just kind of build open dialogue. So, Lord willing, this brother can come on. Lord willing, this brother can come on. So we can talk about it. How's everybody out there doing? Kwame Yasharala, peace and blessings to the family watching. Peace and blessings to the chat, and peace and blessings to those who will hear this recording in the future. We're here to edify the body. So if the brother don't make it, then I'm gonna just go into it. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and give your mic a mic check, brother. Okay, 1 second. I can't hear you. I'm sure the chat can hear you. I've been having these problems lately. Hold on. 1 second, because I hear your mouth moving, but I can't hear you. So let me see if I can switch my... Okay, say something again. No, I'm gonna have to take these off. Let me see. Default speakers. Okay, give me one more time. Wow. Hold on 1 second, brother. Let me get you one more time. This is horrible. Let me just double check something real quick. Hey, to the chat, you guys can hear him? If you can hear him, you can't hear him? Let me know, moderators, let me know if you can hear me and him. Or you can only hear one of us, let me know. So you can't hear him, but you guys can hear me. Okay. Okay, so they only hear me. So, okay. So here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Drop out, and then come right back in. We've been having some technical difficulties with this doggone YouTube, man. They don't want these edifying discussions to come. This is crazy. Okay. There we go. I hear you now. Oh, wait, I heard you, but I heard you, but then you cut out. Say something. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Now, chat. Let me know if you guys hear him now, chat. Let me know if you guys hear him. Okay, they still can't hear you. Are you on a laptop? Okay. Okay, so they can't hear you. So what we're gonna have to do is, if you're on a laptop, you might have to go from your phone. You might have to go from your phone. It may be a problem with your because it's not me. They can't hear you. So the fact that, okay, there we go. Something happened. Okay, I hear you now.
All right. So what happened is I'm in the studio and I got the sound, the audio box hooked to the computer, but not the mic. So I just unplugged that and I'm going to go through the laptop mic.
Okay, cool. So now let me ask the chat again. I can hear this brother clearly. For the chat, can y'all hear us clearly? Both of us. There we go. We good. Khan, we hear him now. Okay, cool. So let me give a brief. I already gave my introduction. For the sake of time, I know brothers on the East Coast, it's getting late over there, so let's just get straight to it. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother, and then we'll go over the topics as you message them to me.
All right, my name is Lance Single. Lance Murray, man. I just study, man. I've been studying for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I study a broad aspect of information. And at times I hear them. People discuss things, and sometimes I chime in when I got a little bit more information or then ran across some books they may haven't. And that's kind of how I ran into Brother Akkad. And I just reached out to him about some things. And we're just going to touch on some things today, if that's all right with y'all.
Khan, all praises. Well, the first thing the brother wanted to discuss is the existence of giants in the Bible. So we at the Sakari, we don't believe that the book of Enoch talks about giants as tall as skyscrapers and as allegedly having sex with 5'3" women. Not sure how that can even happen physically, but we do believe they were taller back then. Even the book of Ezra says, and which we'll probably get it in a second. I forgot to bring that out. But the book of Ezra says that humanity is losing its stature and getting smaller, right? So we do believe that they were definitely taller and stronger and bigger back then, of course. So it's just to wit how big the brother asserts around 20 feet, you say?
I said 20. I said, as the Bible stated, they are 20 feet more and less.
Okay, so let's go. Show us in the Bible why you make this claim.
Okay, give me a second, bro. When I had downloaded, I had backed out. I had erased all of my dang on files to present.
No sweat.
Give me one hot second. Let me find this photo right quick.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so let's first I'm just gonna freestyle until I bring up the actual pieces for you. Oh, here we go. Earliest accounts. Let's consider all right, first of all, we know that the giants all come from, all right, according to my knowledge, things that I've read, all humanity on the surface of the earth come from Ham, Japhet, and Shem. Correct? You agree?
As of right now, yes.
Okay. And well, that's what it stated. It says that all is that in Genesis 9:18 and 19. And these were the sons of Noah, the ones coming forth from the ark, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. And Ham was the father of Canaan. And these three are the sons of Noah. From these, men were disseminated upon all the earth.
Okay.
Right? So all the people come from Shem, Ham, and Japhet. Right? Then as they began to progress, you start to see a change in humanity. So let me look at I'm gonna bounce around for you. Let's take Psalms for instance. So go to Psalms 19:5. All right, and what do yours say? Because I don't.
Psalms chapter 19, verse 5. It says, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoice as a strong man to run a race.
Okay. So what I did, man, is I started looking up stuff like strong men and mighty men. I just had a hunch because I know that it's Christian interpolations in the text to where they won't let you see certain things. But if you study and you dig deep, it's there. So I did. So I went to the Greek, the strong Greek. And in the strong Greek, it says, he has arrived as a king going forth from out of his nuptial chamber shall exalt as a giant running a journey.
Real quick. You kind of muffled. It sounded like you put your hands over the microphone.
How about now? I'm good now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. At one point, you just sounded like
I reached over the mic.
Okay, so last thing I heard was you said you looked at it in the Greek. You mean you looked at it in the Hebrew?
In the Strongs.
Yeah, so that would be the Hebrew. So you looked up strong man from Psalms 19 in the Hebrew?
Well, the number is 1095.2.
Okay, let me just pull it up right here in my
every time you see 1095.2 in the Greek is going to be a giant every single time, 100%. Right? We know that. That's what the number means.
Strong man.
So 1095.
Hold on real quick. Let me share my screen so you can check this out here. Okay. Let me share my screen because I'm not seeing that. So let me just make sure everybody can see the screen here. Okay, my screen is showing. So strong man right here is Strong's H 1368.
Okay. So that's in the Hebrew. Right?
Yeah, in the Hebrew.
All right, and that's fine. But we got to remember a lot of people don't know the history of what happened with the Hebrew literature and all of the texts and stuff. So what I did is the people who was trying to study us and trying to learn was the Greeks, right? And they was trying to do everything they can to translate the scriptures.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So this is the same word for Genesis 6:4, where it says there were giants in the earth those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were old men of renown. And Cush begot Nimrod. He became a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter. Okay, so I get what you're saying. So you're saying that the strong man here equates sometimes to
every time.
So here's the problem. Was Nimrod a giant?
Yes.
So Nimrod was a giant.
And he became a giant in the land. That's what it says in the Greek.
Okay, so here's my question. Why would you refer to the Greek? And this is, they may be saying the same thing, but you keep on harping on the Greek. Why would you put the Greek over the Hebrew translation?
Well, because the Hebrew translation was being conquered. They were not trying to let us know things, right? So, but the Greeks were actually trying to learn the people who they were conquering. They were actually trying to get to know them, They wanted to know the culture. They wanted to know. So the people who took down the Greek information, I trusted over the ones who was just translating Hebrew.
So you trust the Greek Septuagint over the Hebrew manuscripts?
Show me what Hebrew manuscript?
The Masoretic text.
So here's the problem, bro. Who translated the Masoretic text?
The Masoretes had ancient Hebrew manuscripts that they translated, where we get our Old Testament English from.
So English is German.
Okay.
Okay. And as you can see, when you read in the Hebrew, even when you read in the Hebrew yourself, when you look at the translation, it don't match up. It's nothing like with the English. It's things in Hebrew that can't be described in English, but it can be captured in Greek.
Okay, so if we get our Old Testament from 3 bodies of work. That's the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Masoretic text, and the Greek Septuagint. Mm-hmm. So we have 3 witnesses here. This is all we have to compile our Old Testament: the Masoretic text, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Greek Septuagint. So are you saying that the Greek Septuagint holds authoritative over the 2 Hebrew manuscripts? Because I'm going to tell you right now.
That's not what I said.
Okay, well, let me explain this. Okay, so the Masoretic text and the Dead Sea Scrolls, they match up more cohesively than the Greek Septuagint matches with any of them. So I would assert that we take the 2 witnesses over the 1 witnesses, but we compare them all. We don't just throw away the Greek Septuagint.
You're right. I did. That's what I was trying to get at. I did. That was the Greek is the one I never ever looked at. I never considered. The Greek is the one I never considered on all of the studies and all of the translations I look up. I never really considered the Greek, of course, unless you're looking in the New Testament. But when you look in the Greek in the Old Testament, for some reason or another, it's like they just, like, for instance, have you ever heard of the shades of Sheol?
No, you'd have to give me the verse or book, chapter, and verse for it.
Let me get this right here. So the shades of Sheol, when they mention the uncircumcised dead in the earth, you can't get that information unless you read the Book of Giants. You can't read, because the Book of Giants was 100,000 giant war against the circumcised, against the uncircumcised. All of them destroyed the uncircumcised. But
hey, your mic. It sounds like you're far away from your mic.
I'm up on it.
Okay, there we go.
I think it's you, B.
No. I think what it sounds like is when you're talking, you put your arms over the mic. But
okay.
You said in the book of the shades of Sheol come from the book of what?
The shades of Sheol is actually in the Bible, but it don't say shades of Sheol. It says
So let me ask you a question. You know Saul, the first king of Israel?
Yeah, give me a verse.
Was Saul, the first king of Israel, the one who was fighting with him? Was he a giant?
No.
Okay, so the Bible says right here, 1 Samuel 14:52, it says, "And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took him unto him." No, I'm sorry. 1 second. Behold, I have seen it. Okay, hold on. Okay, so my bad, not Saul. 1 second. Okay, so would you agree that it's King David? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, King David's not a giant, is he?
I can't say that he is.
Okay, so
I didn't study. So when I say, like, you asked me a question, I never looked it up or studied or even thought to. I always thought the Shemites, the Shemitic people, the Israelites were pure. weren't affected, you know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you said every time this word is used, it's for actual giants. So I just wanted to show you a
which
place
word? You
where,
talking about mighty men?
yeah, the Strong's where it talks about giants.
Well, every time you see 1095.2, which would probably be what is it, 7?
But we don't have the I don't have the Greek Septuagint. Let me see what it
It's in the
says.
Greek Strongs. I'm looking in the Greek Strongs. I
But
don't.
how do you get the Greek concordance for the Old Testament?
Okay, so this is the let me see the site. Oh, there we go. All right. So the book is an Apostolic Bible Polyglot English. That's in Strong's. So you're gonna go to Strong's. You're gonna go Apostolic Bible Polyglot English.
Let me just look it up in the actual Greek set. So the polyglot is, where's the polyglot Bible translated from?
I'm just in Strong's, bro, and I looked at all of them.
No, you're dealing with the polyglot. You're dealing with the polyglot Bible. But what ancient manuscripts was the polyglot translated from?
I can't tell you.
Okay, so how do you know it's translated from the Greek Septuagint?
It's in Strong's. That's all I'm looking at. I didn't say that it. No, this is an actual. So what happened is, how I found out is when I looked up the numbers, it take me to the Greek. It don't take me to the it takes me to the Greek. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me look at it myself. Give me the website one more time, Salakia.
That's just google.com and it take you. Oh, hold on. Online parallel study Bible. Studybible.info.
Studybible.info?
Yeah, studybible.info.
Studybible.info.
/APB strong _ Strongs.
Okay, /a Strongs. Okay, so we're in the Strongs. Strong's lexicon.
Right.
Okay, Strong's lexicon.
And you use Samuel, right? One of your verses was Samuel, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 Samuel 16:8. So let me see. You're looking up a Greek word in the search engine, correct?
No. So, like I said, bro, I was looking up the Hebrew, and the Hebrew word for giants was like I said, I made a mistake, erased everything to present to bring up this to download the whatever. But it took me to the 1095. It was like saying, well, this 7 something something is the same as the 1095 in the Greek. So
okay. I get what you're saying. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem with that though. The problem is that if we're gonna use 1095 and H1368 interchangeably, then that means they're equivalent to each other. So if we see that the same word being used and applied to King David, then we know it can't every time be talking about an actual giant.
Well, let's see where it applied to King David. I hadn't studied that, bro. All I know is the verses that I have that has to do with giants are biblical, like the nations that they fought. Like, what's his name? Shaldamar, and he came with the 9 kings, the 9 king war. Shadalamar, what's his name?
I'm not. I'd have to look at that. I'm bad with it.
I think it happened in with Lot. With Lot hookup, when Lot the king came and he slayed all the giant nations with 4 or 5 other kings, and they all commanded their army. And then
Lot. Okay, now 1 Kings 16 and 18, right? So we can keep going and keep trucking on. 1 Samuel 16 and 18. It says, Then answered one of the servants and said, Behold, I have a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and playing, and a mighty valiant man. That's the same word for strong man in Psalms 19 and 5, and also Genesis 6. So I believe this proves that every time this word is used, whether in the Greek, which is its equivalent, 1095, it's not talking about actual giants. That's all I wanted to say.
Let's test it.
Okay.
I didn't test that. So I'm gonna go to the site.
Go ahead. 1 Samuel 16:18. Is it bleeding?
No, it does really hurt.
Okay. Plug it. Put it in that red ball. Put it in that red ball. Put some Vaseline on it. Wait. Can you hear me out?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Got a little delay, but I'm good. So.
Good.
Okay,
you said First King.
1 Samuel. Salakia. 1 Samuel 16:18. Boom. Plug it up.
Hey, check it out. I'm gonna go on there. I'm gonna watch your screen because I can't see nothing you're doing. So I'm gonna watch your screen. Okay. You go ahead and you test it. You test it.
Vaseline is on my nightstand. Vaseline is on my nightstand. So, yeah, I'm here. If you're watching my screen, I'm here on 1 Samuel 16 and 18, and it's the same Hebrew word for Psalms 19 and 5. Let me show you real quick. So I'm clicking, it says mighty. This is applied to King David. I'm going to click this word. Boom. When I click the word, I'll be able to cross-reference every time it's used. And let's see if Psalms 19 and 5 pops up. Okay. Here we go. Psalms 19 and 5, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. So I'm not saying that this doesn't sometimes apply to actual giants, but it also applies to just mighty men and warriors as well, who are not giants.
Now, David actually had submitted giants to him. Now, they're not as big as the ones that they was fighting, but they were also his mighty men. They were giants. They were bigger than the average male.
Okay. Like I said, bro, I'm not disputing the fact that it could be used and applied to actual giants, but it's also what? Get some water. It is water in there. Yes, there is. Look, there's a big jug in there. It's also used to regular men as well, as we see, and we know for a fact that King David wasn't no damn giant. He was fighting against one, for that matter.
So let me see. Go to So I appreciate that. Thank you for enlightening me on that. Not every time, because I understood that's what the numbers is for. Every time you see this number means this. Period. That's how I always understood it. This number means this. Period. So let's look at 2 Samuel, right? 21 and 18.
Okay.
And it came to pass after these things, war was still with the Philistines in Nob. Then struck Sibbechai and the Hushathite, the ones assembling of the descendants of the giants.
What verse are you at?
2 Samuel 21 and 18.
Okay.
Then 2 Samuel 21:22. These four were born of the descendants of giants. Now, when you look in the English, let me see. I think that word is Rapha. Rapha, right? And
no, giants.
Rapha.
Rapha.
Yeah, Rapha. I don't have. I'm gonna.
Yeah. It is. You're right.
And in Gath, two of the house of Rapha house. That's it. And they fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Okay. So here's the tripped out part, bro. In the book of the giants, right? Which I'm not at home. I'm at my mom's crib. I don't have my big computer when I just got my laptop. So, but in the book of giants, bro, it was a cat named Nimrod, and it was the king of Bashan, and his people, King Og of Bashan, were uncircumcised, right? And Nimrod, which is not the same Nimrod, but because of his mightiness, I believe that they had that name was adopted to him. They had a war, and when you read about those that was sent in the earth, sent down to hell, that word hell is Tartarus, right? But so in recent history, it's a land of Tartary, right?
Okay, real quick, because I would, me personally, I don't believe in hell, and I definitely don't believe in Tartar. But let me for the sake. Oh, you're saying it's a place. Okay, that's fine. But real quick, because I'm not opposed to there being giants, but let's get into the crux of it on how big they were. Because me personally, we're looking at these giants and they're getting their ass beat by 5'5", 6 foot guys. I mean, they're just some tall, weak ass Hamites. Excuse my language. I mean, all over the Bible, they're getting beat down by Persians, Abraham, Joshua, Caleb, Moses, King David. I mean, how special are these giants if they're getting their ass beat all over the Bible like this?
They Hamites and Japhetic people, right? But what's happening is, bro, is that what you don't probably know is that Moses and them had weapons. I mean, what Moses, all of the Negroes were charged to destroy the giants, bro. They were charged to wipe them off the earth. That's why you be reading, like, if somebody, I forget where it was, bro, but it says if you take the spoils of a mighty man, he was saying, don't worry about that. You good. I'll kind of like stick up for you for it.
Right. But what I'm asking is, where in the Bible does it say that they were 20 feet tall?
Okay, so you got Joshua. Okay. Right? You know Joshua, right? And when he went into the land, what did he see? And what was the bad report? You think that was the lie that they told?
No, does it say how tall they were, though, or are you just speculating or asserting?
Well, I have to assert, because they said, nigga, we look like grasshoppers to them niggas. You know what I'm saying? They look at us, we look like grasshoppers to them. See, but here's the thing, bro.
I think that's Hebrew. I think that's Hebraic phraseology.
All right, check it out.
And like a euphemism.
It took two people to hold a cluster of grapes, bro.
Okay.
It took two people to hold a cluster of grapes. See, man, when the Israelites went into the land of Canaan, bro, they inherited the land of the giants. The giants had giant cups, giant spoons, nigga, giant buildings, walls that reach the sky, bro. Like, this is real giant shit. This ain't no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the old school fairy tales is pre-Diluvian, bro. Like, all of them fairy tales they was telling, it's all pre-Diluvian. Let me tell you why I know this for a fact, bro. And we can go through it, Chronicles, Job. We can go through the whole hookup, and it's gonna all say the same thing.
And somebody had a good point. That's the word I'm looking for. Hyperbole, and also a Hebrew word, not a Hebrew word, but a term called pleonasm. Pleonasm is putting over emphasis on things. It's like, you're from Brooklyn, right?
I'm from Detroit.
From Detroit, Salakia. So you ever know, like for example, when a nigga get beat up by like 3 guys, right? He go home and tell his homies, it was like 50 of them niggas, about 50 of them niggas jumped on me. That's how it is. It's hyperbole, it's pleonasm, it's overemphasis. So I'm gonna ask you this question. And we gotta move on for time's sake. Does the Bible explicitly
tell you about this?
Okay, but let me ask you this question. Does the Bible explicitly tell you how big that these giants are?
It tell you in cubits and eels, bro.
Cubits. So does the cubits measure up to 20 feet?
I think it tell you more than that, man. See, because like I said, I don't have everything in front of me, but for a fact, it tells you that when I looked it up, bro, and I seen these eels, I can't remember how many eels it was. These niggas was 20 feet, bro.
Okay, so do you have a person? Because I have one in mind, but I don't want to just give it to you. I want to see what you're gonna go to. Do you have a person where we can measure their cubits in the Bible right now, so we can at least get an idea of the average giant, maybe one of them?
The Bashan.
Okay, so how tall does the Bible say is?
I'm not sure, man, but I can't remember exactly. Here we got the books here, but the nigga's like 12 to 15 feet tall, according to his
Okay,
bed.
okay, so his bed, I'm just gonna tell you right now, his bed is 13 and a half feet. So
Okay.
how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
5'8". How tall is your bed?
I got king size bed.
You got a king size bed. So
Yeah.
you're not the same height as your bed, right?
I planned on having a couple of chicks laying with me, but no,
So that's what I would say. A lot of people say, well, Og was 13 feet. Well, he's not the same height as his bed. We're not the same height as our bed. And hell no, ain't no king gonna be the same height as his bed where he can't even roll over.
You nice, right, bro. You nice about the situation. But here's the thing. Today, it's proven, like when you look at your libraries, when you look at your state buildings, or you look at old schools, high schools and colleges, when you look at these buildings with these grand doorways and these grand pillars, those are their buildings that we dug out in the 1800s, bro. It's proof that those large doorways, those grand entrances that you see on malls, those buildings were already here, man. We just dug them out in the 1800s. They came from the flood. And when you look in, here's how I know. When you look at historians' etchings, their artworks, their etchings, and we can do this again, and I'll have all that to present because I do have it, actual etchings from the 1st century. You can see how large these buildings are, man. They're skyscrapers. So when the Most High destroyed the earth, he covered the earth with mud. And he made those buildings that we see today, those the second floors, those is top layers of buildings that go down hundreds of feet, bro. Like there ain't no reason to make a basement that deep into the ground. So when you read about the Noah's flood, just know that it was a whole nation on earth of giant people, anywhere from, like I said, 6'2", 35 feet tall in one instance, but not just instance of reading.
How do they have sex? How does a 35 feet man have sex with a 5 foot woman?
Those niggas don't have sex. Them ain't the ones that they don't. And plus, a baby don't come out a giant even right now today. With me being in the medical field,
I'm saying, how does he get his giant rod into this 5 foot woman's vagina?
You're not hearing me. They didn't come out giants. They wasn't always giants. Like right now, big like the Big Show.
No, this is what I'm asking. No, once they get 35 feet, right?
They're not having sex no more with no regular niggas, with no regular women, bro.
So how are they procreating?
They already did it. They are parts of procreation. That's like it's like only a certain portion of them can mix, like taking a lion and making ligers. You can't take a male and so-and-so and mix it with a female. So it has to be a certain way. See, but according to these books, according to what I learned, man, is these niggas can't. All right, they have penises the size of horses.
Somebody in the comment board just said fee 5 4 5.
That's for real. Yo,
dude is hilarious.
Yo, that's true. Like fee 5 4 fum, all them stories. Man, who you think wrote those stories? You think white people wrote those stories? Those Moorish, those is. Bro, listen, man.
Don't you think those are our stories? Okay, so let's get back on track. Okay, so according to the Bible, the tallest man we see, it doesn't even give his height, but it gives the height of his bed. I would have said or assert, according to us, and definitely according to a king, that we aren't the sizes of our beds. I would conclude that this guy is probably around 9 foot tall at best, and that would be my assertion, according to the fact of what the Bible says about his bed. And that's fine. You know, again, these guys were going around, huh?
According to scripture, he's 11'10".
According to scripture.
Centimeters or 8 cubits is 11'10".
No, 9. No, it says 9 cubits. 9 cubits is 13 and a half feet. It's 18 inches. 18
No, I'm talking about
times.
his height, his actual height.
It doesn't say his actual height.
It says 8 cubits.
Okay, that's fine. I want. Wait, you're
The
saying?
height of Goliath is 9 feet.
Wait. You're saying that the Bible says Og was 8 cubits?
The Deuteronomy 3:1. It tells you the size of his coffin. It says it was 9 cubit coffin inside, or 8 cubits.
Okay, so why are you saying this? Deuteronomy 3:11 says 9 cubits, but why are you saying that it's a coffin? Is that what a bedstead is?
I'm just reading. You know what, bro? What I did is, I don't know what
You're reading commentary. You're reading commentary.
That's what I said.
Can't go off the commentary.
I went to the Jewish scholar. What's this?
Hey, I got a question for you. I'm gonna let the chat get involved in this as well, just with a couple questions. The chat wants to know: Is Jack in the Beanstalk a work of nonfiction?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I tell you what. According to some things that I've read, giants lived in trees. They made their habitation in the trees above man.
So you can't say emphatically that Jack and the Giant Beanstalk is true or false.
I didn't do no study on it. There's a lot of stories from our childhood that are true.
Have you heard of the story of Jack? Like there's this tree that climbs all the way up to heaven.
Yeah, bro. Listen, the trees of the ancient world reach the heavens. They reach the canopy in some instances.
They reach the firmament. They reach the dome.
They reach the canopy, whatever the canopy is. I don't know if it's the dome. You might want to call it the dome, but the trees in Lebanon reach the canopy, bro.
Okay, so let's transcend here. Let's transcend here into something. You mentioned about Esau. Who are the Edomites today?
According to my studies, the Edomite Esau, he blended with many nations, bro. And what they did in the tents of Edom and the congregations, the Confederate nations, that was marriage. All of that shit is marriage and making babies, bro.
Mm-hmm. So who are they today?
Not just white. Esau became white. He wasn't always white. Like today, white people, Esau wasn't always white. But what he did is he became white. And what he did is he mixed with. Listen, man. It's some information that me and you just got to kick it on because the audience probably not be ready for it. You probably ain't never even heard of it. But it's a nation in modern Russia today. That's what Russia is. It's a nation called Tartaria. Those are your Turkish, your Khazarians, that whole hookup, all of them people. Esau mixed with them people and became white, man. You can see it in history. And when
there's no more Edomites today, then, if that's the case.
Hell yeah, there's many Edomites. They all over the place. They're not white though. They Arab, they white, they African. They not just, trust me, man. When I present this information to you that I have, you will be able to agree. Like, you won't argue with me. That Esau is African, he is white, he is also Hebrew, but everywhere he is, he in position of power. He ain't poor nowhere.
Okay.
He Turkish too, bro. He all over the place.
So Japhet is white people.
Japhet wasn't always white either.
How did Japhet turn white?
When the smaller, listen, man, I ain't crazy, bro. Listen, tell me. The smaller giant people, the Phoenicians, that's who they are. The Phoenicians conquered all the Japhetic. Listen, bro. So let me say this: the sons of God in Genesis saw that the daughters of man were fair and took wives when they chose. I know you know that information and you don't believe it.
No, here's what no. Where's the first white man come from?
So the first white man.
Hold on, real quick. Hey, Lily, is Jeremiah back in? Yeah. All right, go ahead, Salaki.
So let me tell you, the first white man that I got is in my mind is Noah. He's not white, he's albino.
So Noah was albino.
Yep.
And the albino had 3 black babies.
Easy, yeah.
So
And
how did
listen, because
the
listen, if you in the
albinoid?
medical field, bro, or if you know anything about science, it don't always like because you get hazel eyes don't mean your next child gonna have hazel eyes. Because you got curly hair, don't mean your child gonna have curly hair. If your penis big, don't mean your son or penis gonna be big. B. It jumps through generations, bro. It don't always land on the next one or the one after that. But you can
Okay.
find that that no,
Okay, where in the Bible can we see that Noah was a white man?
so you're not gonna find it in the Bible. But let me say this: you got to remember, we were conquered by Christians, bro. We were conquered by the original Christians, and the Christians are the ones who told us
Who
don't
are
read
the
the book.
original? Who are the original Christians?
So that's a whole nother story, man. You trying to take me? You listen, bro. We were conquered by Christians. When you look at the Crusades, it's white people conquering black people. That's what you see. And
Oh, okay. So the original Christians were white people. I'm just trying to get where you're killing from.
the original Christians were Confederate people. They were many nations. They wasn't just one people. It was a confederacy.
Okay, so why does the Bible says that Jews were called Christians first before anybody?
Because they were being called niggas.
Okay, but wouldn't that make them the original Christians?
Nah, they were called Christians based off of some shit that was going on in Egypt with that nigga Ptolemy. And because that nigga died and he was saying he was the Christos, now they saying, oh, so here we got another Christos, and these niggas is Christian followers. Okay, let's see. They were mocking them. They wasn't calling them Christians in goodness, bro. They were mocking them.
Okay, well, why does it say they were called Christians first?
They were called Christians first where?
When they went to Antioch.
Okay. That's when they was first called Christians in Antioch. That wasn't the first people called Christians.
Okay, do you have any other documents prior to that time frame where people were being called Christians?
Yeah, man, we can go to it, man. We can deal with Ptolemy and we can deal with the Christos of Egypt, man. When you ready, present me the stuff and I can bring you to the forefront. Right now, we just kicking it. Like I said, I had some verses to run by you. I end up knocking all that down, bringing up Google, download Hangouts or whatever. But yes, bro, it was people called Christians before the people who we know as Christians today, before the Jews were called Christians. Yes, I emphatically know that for a fact.
Is there anything that I could just any key word I can search?
Research Ptolemy's deity. Hold on. P-T-O-L.
Ptolemy's deity. Let's look that up real quick. Ptolemy's deity. Ptolemy. Oh shit. Excuse me.
He made himself a god, bro, and that was when you get your Christos, Christ. Serapis.
Hmm?
Introduced during century BC on orders of Ptolemy.
Okay, so let's see. So
the Christians of that time is related to Serapis.
Okay. Serapis. Christos. Where does Christos? How do you get Christos from Christians? How do you equate Christos and Christians?
Christos will mean
Christos,
Christ.
not Christos.
Christ.
But it's Christos, not Christos.
It's actually Christos.
Right. So how do you get Christos out of Christos?
I mean, you correcting me on the way I'm like pronouncing stuff, bro.
Oh no, not
all right. No,
Okay, so Christus, right? We see Serapis Christus. How does this equate to?
You said, how do they relate?
Yeah. How do they relate?
Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Remember this. Okay, so then we're gonna move on. I'm gonna put this. I just wrote this down. So I'm gonna show you that Ptolemy, his Serapis, is related to the first Christians. So I'm gonna add that on the table for you. As a matter of fact, I'll just send that when I get to the crib because I got that on hand. That was information I learned a long time ago, and I didn't look at it again. It ain't nothing to jump up and down about. I know that the first Christians wasn't us. And you got to remember, we speak in English.
You got it. I'm just waiting.
Okay.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Totally. 100.
Okay, so
now here's the thing. Let me say this. I believe. Okay. I don't believe how the Bible is taught, but I believe in the Bible.
You believe the text. You believe the
interpretations of the Bible is what the Christians teach. However, I do believe the scripture that I've read.
Okay, so if we're not the original Christians, and are you saying that calling yourself a Christian is saying that you believe in Serapis Christus?
No, I'm saying today's Christians are not the original Christians. They wasn't the ones that was we kind of like that wasn't the first Christians, bro.
Okay.
Those were the first.
So who were the first Christians? Run it by me one more time. The followers of Serapis Christus?
Those are the first. Those were the people who were called Christians.
Okay, Serapis Christus. So before the Messiah came on the scene, a Christian would be somebody who follows Serapis Christus, according to you. Okay, so
a Christian was when you was a Jew and you was being called a Christian, you were being made a mockery of, bro. You were being called something that wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a good thing. It was positive.
Okay. I wouldn't necessarily argue with you on that. But what I would say is I'm just trying to clarify here. A Christian before the Messiah was somebody who follows Serapis Christus.
Let me say this. A Christian before the Messiah, let me say this and be careful with my words. Before the Messiah, there were Christians and had nothing to do with our Elohim.
Okay, so why would we then take something created to worship an idol and then apply it to our Messiah?
Because 400 years then went by and people forgot what the hell that really happened. They was being called Christians badly, like we call each other niggas today. Nigga, come on.
But listen, Serapis Christus, the origin of Serapis Christus is 135 BC. That's 135 years roughly before the Messiah. So it wouldn't have been 400 years, it'd be 135 years.
I'm not really on the times, bro. I'm just saying it was a long time before them. So let me not play with you then if you want to be like just concrete. I'm just saying it was a time before the modern people, so they didn't remember that.
Okay. So is it okay for us to call ourselves Christians today?
Heck, you know.
Okay, so what do you do with text like 1 Peter 4:16 that says, "Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf"?
Is that what it really saying in Hebrew?
In the Greek, that's what it says in the Greek.
And so that was written in the Greek or Aramaic.
1 Peter 4, I believe it was written in the Hebrew, honestly, but the oldest copies that we have is in the Greek, so that's all we can really rely on right now.
Okay. So once, let me say this, bro. Once you so we, like I said, once we start just dealing with something for a minute, we kind of just waddle in it.
Okay, that's fine. Let's deal with this last. I think you presented a good case. So let's deal with this last. Topic. You said Lucifer. What's your idea of who Lucifer is?
Lucifer in the Bible, bro, is what's my man name? What's my man name that gave the cedar to Solomon and David? Hiram Abibi. He lived 1,000 years, bro. Hiram Abibi. And that's who Lucifer is. The word Lucifer means shining one. And in one instance, it means great boaster. There is no male. Let me tell you this for a fact, and I'm saying emphatically, bro. There is no counter anti-God with his equal strength. Everything works for the Most High. All beings. Look, watch this. Who destroyed Egypt?
The Most High did.
All right, but if you was Egyptian, who would you say destroyed Egypt? The devil. Who destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah? If you was in Sodom, you would be like the devil or Satan did it. Any man, listen, bro, Lucifer and Satan is just a scapegoat. Just a scapegoat to blame it on something. To say that God didn't do it, bro. The Most High is the one who destroyed. He said, "I make alive and I make dead."
Okay, but hold on. Let me just. I don't want to stray away from the point. You're saying that Lucifer is Satan?
Nope.
Okay, who is Lucifer?
Lucifer is just a Hebrew word, halal. It means great boaster or shining one. That's it.
Lucifer is actually a Latin. Lucifer is actually a Latin word, but the Hebrew word that it's translated from is you're right, Hayalel, right?
Halal.
Right. And what does that mean?
Shining one.
I mean shining one?
Or in one instance, so if you look at the HA, it's shining one, and if you look at the HE, it's great boaster. So when you say that, when you speak Hebrew, you only can tell by context what is being spoken when you use the same words like them synonyms. But because both words can be applied, they say it means both when you do the research on it. Ain't no Lucifer, bro.
Okay, Lance, let me give my stance real quick, and then I'm gonna let Chief say something. So we don't believe that Lucifer is Satan. That's a Latin word. We believe that that's whoever was in the ruler position and rulership of Babylon, as you look at the context and say. But Chief wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Okay. So you're contending that Lucifer is Hiram Abibi?
Yeah. According to my study, which I believe is you look in the Jewish encyclopedia, and I'm not conclusive.
Hold on.
Right?
Hold on. Let me take off my earphones so he can hear you. Salakia, 1 second. Let me just go to default speakers and see if this works. Okay, say something, Lance. Do a mic check.
Mic check.
I'm gonna have to turn off my
Yeah, look, I'll just turn mine on, man, but I know I'm a little bit behind.
You're a little bit behind, so I want to.
Yeah, see, I'm a little behind, but all right. So what you're saying is Lucifer is Hiram Abibi, right?
Yeah, according to the Jewish.
Turn yours off, Elazar. Go ahead, Lance.
According to the Jewish encyclopedia, it's Hiram Abibi, and he was the one that lived 1,000 years. And when they was talking about him, Nebuchadnezzar is the one who conquered him. That's who the Most High sent to conquer him.
I'm asking you a very concise question, so you ain't got to go into all that. Are you saying that based off of Ezekiel 27 and Ezekiel 28?
I could be. I don't have my studies with me, bro. I'm sorry, but I have plenty of material on it. Can you repeat? Can you say them?
The reason I ask you that is because when people want to make Lucifer, Satan, this fallen angel, that's the scriptures that they go to, but those scriptures are actually talking about not Hiram Abibi, but the Prince of Tyrus. So that's why I'm asking you that.
No. I didn't have. I don't know if I have Ezekiel in mind when I said that. All I know is that I made it conclusive when I found this out in my studies, I had so much information. I decided to conclude that there is no Lucifer. I know that for a fact. And because of the time period, people try to say it's Nebuchadnezzar, but it's Hiram Abibi. According to the Jewish Encyclopedia and Jewish Antiquities, and also according to Flavius.
The Bible. Well, I don't care about Jewish Encyclopedia. Who is the Bible identified as Lucifer?
Ain't no Lucifer. It's just a word. That's just capitalized, bro. It's just a word.
The only time it says Lucifer in the Bible, who is it referring to?
The only time the great boaster is Hiram Abibi, the Prince of Tarsus.
Hold on. I'm asking you a very simple question. The word Lucifer appears one time in the English Bible.
Agreed.
What is that talking about in the Bible?
I told you. Oh, is it talking about in the Bible? So you can't. So, bro, you gotta do history outside the Bible to know that the people who he's talking about, the Prince of Tyre or Tyrus, is Hiram Abibi.
Brother, the word Lucifer appears one time in the Bible. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about anything else right now. It's not what I'm going to ask you about. Nothing else. So anything outside of the Bible, I don't care about. That term appears one time in the whole Bible. That's what I'm asking you about. And it's applied to the king of Babylon. Hiram Abibi, not Abibi. Hiram Abibi is never the king of Babylon, but he's rather the prince of Tyrus, or he's the king of Tyrus at one point in time, not even the one that's referred to in Ezekiel.
Listen, bro, he is. You just don't know the history. You don't go out the Bible, you won't know. The Hiram Abibi father, Hiram Abibi, is the king of Tyre that the Bible was talking about and then he sent Nebuchadnezzar to conquer him. Nebuchadnezzar was sent to conquer.
So listen, everybody saw it on here. Y'all can go back to the class from 2 nights ago. We just went through the spirit of power of Yahweh into all of the history of the Prince of Tyrus and the King of Tyrus. That's Ithobaal the third. Not Hiram was long dead by the time Ithobaal the third came to reign, and he's the figure that Nebuchadnezzar takes out of power. That's prophesied in Ezekiel 27, 28, Zechariah 9, Amos 1, and Joel 3. That's Ithobaal the third and the people that come after him, his successors. Hiram is generations predecessing Ithobaal the third, who is the subject matter of those prophecies. You see what I'm saying? So no, Lucifer is emphatically not Hiram Abibi, nor is he the Prince of Tyrus. Lucifer is the king of Babylon.
Okay, you could have let me know because I was planning on doing something too.
Hiram was never the king of Babylon. He's so Tyrus. But that's the point I
You
wanted to
going
say.
out every night?
It's really conflating things.
I thought she was coming here tomorrow.
So
Lance, unmute your phone.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Lucifer is just a title, bro. It's not nobody you can. It's not a name. Can you hear me?
that's true.
Oh, he said he did. You say that again. I had both of you guys muted. Say that again, Chief.
I said Lucifer is just a name. I mean, it's not a name. It's just a description. It's not a nothing that you can say who is who. You can say, well, who was he talking about? I agree, but you can't say that the king of Babel is Lucifer because it's not a name. It's just a description.
We understand that it's not a name, but the only time the Bible applies that specific title to an individual, it's the king of Babylon. It's not nobody else. That's Isaiah the 14th chapter.
It just means great shining one.
I know what it means. I never disputed you on what it means. I just am identifying the only person that ever calls that in the Bible is the king of Babylon. That's it.
So the premise is that there is no Lucifer. There's no bad guy that equals the Most High that people can blame their tragedies on.
Hold on. Whose premise is that we understand that you and I both agree there's not this Lucifer that exists, that's a rival of God that went down to hell. Neither of us believe that, so there's no point in either of us arguing that.
Yeah, you disagreeing with me and Deacon Hakai. That was my statement. There's no Lucifer.
Well, there is a Lucifer, but Lucifer is not what people think it is. That's what you're saying.
But there are many.
You're saying it's a king. We're saying it's a king. So we're saying the same thing. You just got the king wrong, and we got the king right.
No, I ain't saying it's the king. I'm saying that you can use halal just generally all throughout your life. If you black and you tall, you can be called great shining one. Okay, if you Solomon, you can be called great shining one, bro. It don't have nothing to do with no. Listen, man, y'all brothers don't go outside the Bible. You're not gonna get more than what's presented. You got to remember that the people that gave you the Bible don't want you to get it.
The point is, who does the Bible call that? That's the only question we are asking. That's the Bible only calls one person that.
It don't matter. It don't matter if you. It's probably many words that get used on a day-to-day basis, even in that time. That's not in the Bible.
I know that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not. Again, you can't keep arguing points that are not a point of contention. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, anybody, the shining one, or anybody, Lucifer or halal. Yeah, you can. Right? It's shining or somebody who's gets praised and things like that. We get it. I understand that, but I'm just talking about in the Bible, the whole Bible. It calls only gets one person out of identity. So that's the only thing I was talking about.
We can. I mean, but do we want to give more credence than what it is? It's just a description. That's all I'm saying. It's just a description. You don't agree that it's Hiram, a BB, a Tyree. My study's so different. We read different books. I read different books than you have. So I can't disagree with you, and you can't disagree with me until you read what I've read. So, but what I will say is that's all of my premise is that there is no Lucifer, and beyond that.
All was reigning by the time Nebuchadnezzar came. So that means that Hiram was well out of power by the time Ethelbald the third.
Hiram Abiff lived 1,000 years, B.
There's no history that you can produce to prove that Hiram was still on the scene after Ethelbald the third, which was the successor of the second, which was the successor of the first. That's all after Hiram. So there ain't no way you can bring a historical source to say that it wasn't Ethelbald, it was really Hiram, and he was a millennium old.
I'm saying that during the Babylonian reign, post-Nebuchadnezzar or pre-Nebuchadnezzar, that Hiram was dead? That's what you're saying?
You said what?
You saying the king of Tyre was dead by the time Nebuchadnezzar became in power in Babylon. That's what you're saying?
No. I'm saying Nebuchadnezzar came against King Ethelbald the third, not against Hiram. This is generation.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, B.
Hold on, you got me lower something? Dig it?
No, you kind of like it's like I'm watching a video. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing on the phone. Okay, so you saying what again?
I'm saying that Ethelbald the third was the king Nebuchadnezzar came against in Tyrus. So Hiram was long dead by then because there was already two other Ethelbalds that preceded Ethelbald the third. So Hiram was dead by then.
How long did Hiram live?
Not 1,000 years.
It's all right, bro.
The oldest man ever lived is Methuselah. That's 969. You can't live longer than that.
Bro. So I don't know if it's true or not because I wasn't there, but I just saying according to my studies, Hiram lived a long time and it was through two kings, David and Solomon, and it didn't have nothing to do with father and son. But it could be because people look at one man's house as just him, and it could have been just Hiram, the father's son, and the other son. Who knows? The predecessor, the third, the grandson. Who knows? But all I know is that that's who they was talking about, according to the things that I've read.
Well, yes, it's applying to the king of Babylon, not the prince of Tyrus.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm with you on Ezekiel 27 and 28. They try to apply that to Lucifer, but that's really talking about the prince of Tyrus, which comes from the loins of Hiram. That's true.
Absolutely.
The word Lucifer in Isaiah 14 is applicable to the king of Babylon. That's all I'm saying. But you're right, because it's not Satan or this thing in heaven that rebelled against God and all that. You're right about that, and that's a very common misconception that people have. So we certainly give credence for you for understanding that.
Let me ask you this, Alizar. Who do you blame calamity on?
What do you mean, who do I blame calamity on?
Who should the listeners, when you look at calamity in your life, if you look, we can't no longer give credence to Lucifer. He don't exist. There's no Lucifer. So who do we, I know the answer. I just want to hear, I have an idea of my answer. I just want to hear what your answer is.
There's no evil. If there's evil in the city, the Most High has done it.
Woo, that's it. Only thing you can do is fast and repent, bro, and pray. Any calamities in your life that you're going through don't have no Lucifer. Anything that's going on, you set yourself up for the Most High to punish you. Everything.
That's true.
But I ain't trying to conclude. I love talking to y'all, but basically we all agree on everything except how tall giants is in the Bible.
Well, we don't agree that Esau is everybody. We know that the nation's mixed up. We believe that majority of every nation is exactly who they are, majority.
So, all right. So I prove to you that no nation is who they originally was. Any nation that got white skin has been conquered by one nation. Any people of the earth that have white skin has been conquered by a people of an ancient time, and they don't have nothing to do with. They was before Esau. White skin was before Esau. B.
There's only one people that got white skin though. No, nobody else got white skin but white people. Don't. So how do people apply that?
Arabs got white. Listen, it's a group of Arabs that got white skin. It's a group of Africans that got white skin. It's a group of Turkish people that got white skin. It's a group of American. Every nation got white skin, son.
With light skin, that's not the same thing.
Yeah, white skin ain't the same thing.
Listen, white skin meaning lack of melanin or very little melanin.
Listen, hold on, real quick. You gotta understand something. It's something called eumelanin and there's something called pheomelanin. Right? White people have pheomelanin. That's why they turn red. Everybody else in the world got eumelanin. That's why we get brown. So even something can be as light as you want it to be, but they still have eumelanin, meaning if you put the sun to them, they're gonna get brown. They're not gonna turn red. Only white people got pheomelanin because of their mutations. So you can't just say because there's Arabs with white skin. No, all of them Arabs got eumelanin. You put them in that desert for 40 days, a month, 2 months, they're gonna be brown.
You talking about those Arabs? I'm talking about those Arabs that are white.
I'm talking about any Arab.
Nah, man. Have you been overseas, bro? Have you been to any Arab land?
Have you?
Yeah. I've been in 7 different countries. Just to be straight up, I'm military, ex-military. You know what I'm saying? I toured with D12, Eminem. So I've been many places, bro. So I'm telling you that Arabs are white people with blue eyes and blonde hair. It's some of them.
And listen. If you're talking about an Arab with white, they clearly are a mixed person. So that
they got conquered, Elazar. They got conquered by people. They were conquered.
We know that the Arabs were conquered. We know that the ruling family of the Saudi Arabians are Jewish. I understand that, but you can't say that Arabs are white people.
Right? No. It's some Arabs that's black, bro. It's some Arabs that had not been. It's some Ishmaelites that had not been mixed, bro. That only been mixing with Africans only. So it's some, of course, but original Arabs are black people. Today, they not black, bro. They've been conquered. They've been whited out, like the Cubans, like the motherfucking Mexicans, like all the people these particular people who's been putting their seed in all our people in the earth been doing. That's why you got white people, bro. Today.
So just because people mix, that again, saying that people mix does not make your point. You understand what I'm saying? To say that, oh, if they came up in there, then no nation is who they are. What are you talking about?
Let me tell you this. No king uses his sons to conquer another nation.
Genetically recessive people cannot overtake through genetic having sex. Cannot overtake a dark-skinned people. It's impossible.
Bullshit. Man, you better get out of here, bro. It takes 3 generations to wipe out a race, to wipe out a person. The same amount of generations it takes to make you back a Hebrew through your bloodline is the same amount it takes to wipe you out, bro. 3.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. I said a people, not a person. A people.
It's a word for that, dog.
White people cannot come to any dark country and fuck them out of existence. Excuse my French. That cannot happen. It has not happened.
Look at Puerto Rico and Cuba.
How is Puerto Rico and Cuba been fucked out of existence? If Carlos, all you got to do is baseball season. Turn on ESPN and watch baseball and tell me how that the white man has came and fucked them out of existence.
You been to Cuba?
I have family in Cuba.
Okay, so if you have family in Cuba, are they dark complected or light complected?
Family in Cuba, black is light. What are you talking about?
All right, now listen. When you look up Cubans, you're not going to see a black is black. You're going to see a white, beautiful mixed person.
You can Google Cuban just because Spaniards live in Cuba, right? Plenty of Spaniards moved to Cuba, right? Plenty of Cuban Spaniards then migrated to Miami. That doesn't mean the majority of people on the Isle of Cuba are white. They're not.
No, but listen, bro, this is what happened. A king comes in.
Population of Cuba. Everybody knows.
Lance, I got a question. So you're saying that if a nation is lighter, they've been conquered by white people?
I'm saying that if a nation is white, they've been conquered by. Let me say this: if you find a white person with black hair, more than likely, anciently,
okay,
he was
Lance. Yeah, I have to keep you honest here. This is the Situation Room.
Okay.
So, how did Japheth turn white?
Japheth was conquered by the Phoenicians.
How did they turn white? The Phoenicians.
Genesis 6.
How did Noah turn white? Was he conquered?
Noah turned white as a sign. It was just a sign to come. It wasn't
so
that he was.
There's other ways to turn white besides being conquered by white people.
Well, this is what I'm saying, bro. We talking about a whole nation of people. All the people on the earth was dark people. That's what the sun is for. That's how if you understand the sun and skin, melanin, you take in the DNA, the vitamin D through the sun, and it synthesizes in the calcium into your bone. Okay, your skin is designed to coexist with the sun, melanin. The darker it blocks certain rays. So, like for instance, in Detroit, dark-skinned people gotta go get take calcium pills because the density of their bones won't get. It ain't getting enough sun here. You know what I'm saying? We used to get a lot of sun here, but people that live in areas like this, the density of their bones is different than people who live in hot places in Cali where the sun is more rapid, as far as black people is concerned. So yeah.
we can't find anywhere in the Bible these people who you say who are white conquering the Japhites to turn them white.
Bro, you're not going to listen. Genesis 6. The sons of God saw that the daughters of man were fair and took them wives whom they chose, and daughters and giants were born unto them in them days. What do you think happened right there? They corrupted when you read in the Bible about Noah's bloodline, you think he was a righteous man, or do you think his bloodline was uncorrupted? His son's bloodline was uncorrupted. All of the people that listen, bro, the only people who bloodline was corrupted in that boat was the daughters of was the wives of Noah.
What you're saying is that Noah was cursed.
No, what I'm saying is Noah was a sign of the people. If you read in the book of Enoch, it tells you that the people
is having white skin a curse.
Yeah.
So how wasn't Noah cursed?
Because he wasn't cursed. He was a sign.
So it's
white skin a sign of what was to come.
So white skin is a curse and a sign.
No, listen, bro. Noah's white skin, according to the scripture, Jasher, Enoch, and Jubilees, it was a sign, or was it in Jubilee? It was a sign that the people who was going to conquer his people was going to be white. You can read it. It tells you verbatim.
So have you ever
it tell you verbatim? You won't read the book of Enoch. That's on you. But it tells you that the people that will be conquering in the future will be white, and his skin color is the sign of it. So why would white people put that in the damn book if they had something to do with faking it? It's real, bro. It's there. You got to read it, man. White people. It tells you that white people. What he did is, like, let me tell you the story. Noah was born. He had white skin, blonde hair. His eyes shine like the sun. He even came out praising the Lord. Baby talk, which is Hebrew basically, and scared his father Lamech. Lamech went to Methuselah. Methuselah went to Enoch. Enoch said, because what happened was Lamech thought his son was a product of his wife being raped.
Lance, can you find me? Because now we gotta have to, unless Alizar wants to stay on this point. I think most of your information is coming from Jasher, Enoch, and Jubilee. Can you find me any ancient manuscripts like we have the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Masoretic text?
Those are in the Dead Sea Scrolls, B.
So what's in the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Those books that you just named.
All of those, the compiled book.
Look, bro, the books that you just named, Joshua, Jubilee, and Enoch, is in the Dead Sea Scrolls, B.
Okay, I'm gonna fact check that right now.
The
compiled book is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Meaning all the books that are in the book of Jubilee today are in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
The complete volume that you have is in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
You just asked me where in the Dead Sea, like anything like the Dead Sea Scrolls, can I show you? I just stated those books that you just stated.
I can look in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I can look and see the complete book of Jubilee.
I don't know. All I know is that those books you just named is in Dead Sea Scrolls.
How do you know? You don't know.
Right here.
How do you know?
Here, I got the Dead Sea Scrolls right here. Now, I don't know if it's a translated version. I'm reading it in English, so I can't tell you if they took pieces from different books to make them be right, to read it regular, or if they took, I don't know that because I know how they work. But all I know is that if you're looking for those books, they're in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Okay, so Lance, what you're saying is the total and complete book of Jubilee.
You saying that? I just told you what I said. Are you saying that? I just told you those books you just named is in a book and is in the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Are they in there? Are they in there? Are they in there in their entirety?
See, when you read, so here you go. If you want the entirety, you got to get them from different publishers. But I've read the books not in their entirety, in actual broken up pieces to where you got to actually.
Hold on, Lance. Hold on. Let me bring the brother on real quick. Hold on.
Real quick, I just want to fact check you on something. I got to fact check you on something because you said something wild a second ago.
Dude.
Right. So you said if we just Google certain people, we can see that they're been whited out. So you Google Cuban people here. I don't see whited out people here. These two look like white tourists, right? I don't see whited out people here. I don't see whited out people here. I don't see whited out people here. Just simply Googling Cubans like you asking. I'm not seeing all these.
I'm looking at it the same shit, and these people was white. You might look at them and see. These people are white. No, they were African.
Hold on, these people are white. These people are white. Right here that we're looking at. This is white people.
Well, I don't see. Listen, I'm not seeing in your screen. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, that's my bad. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, keep going, B, because I'm on the same screen.
Listen. I've gone through it. I've been going through it.
I Googled Cuban. I'm right here in images. I've just pulled up.
Listen, Cuban people. This is where I'm at. Everybody can look at that. Damn, these white people. That's crazy. Look at this white man. Wow.
What you mean? I mean, come on. There are black people. Listen. If you go to Mexico, it's a black community. It's Hebrew Israelites in Mexico. If you go to
listen, I've been to Mexico. You can't tell me nothing about Mexico. I've been to Mexico. So this is a white guy. This is Mexican people, right? This guy's white, right here.
So you telling me you go to Mexico and you don't see white? Why you showing me a person that's clearly black, B? I'm telling you that it's white people in Mexico. It's white people in Cuba. They conquered the people.
All right. Number one, this is ridiculous. I Googled Mexican people, and this is what came up. There's white people in every country all over the world. The Bible says, I've seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. So there's no doubt that white people live everywhere. I'm not going to doubt that white people have sowed their seed everywhere, but they have not rendered a people non-existent and replaced a whole group of people in truth. They don't do that. They cannot do that. They are too genetically weak to do that. Right? So again, Mexican people, the first thing, these are not white people. These are clearly people with something called melanin, right? Let's just look this up real quick so I can give you a quick science lesson. Big shout out to my brother. What's my brother? Why am I forgetting his name right now? Minister Inky. Big shout out to my brother Minister Inky, right? Real quick. Look at this breakdown. You have something called eumelanin, and you have something called pheomelanin. You see, these are the colors, these browns, right? And then you have this lighter, which some white people get, right? And then this redder shade, right? It's what turns them orange or super red because they have something called pheomelanin, right? Then sometimes they mix and you get like a more reddish brown sometimes, right? Pheomelanin and eumelanin. That's the difference, right? But you can see what type of melanin these people have. These are the people of Mexico.
Yo, you
saw
showing
the
me
stereotypical people of Mexico, right? He also brought up Puerto Rico. Damn, this is wild. These are white people. That's crazy.
Hey, look, you see those blonde hair and blue eyes in them black people you seeing?
What? I didn't. No, I don't see blonde hair and blue eyes. These is white folks. That's wild.
So listen, Eliezer, if you go to Puerto Rico, you're going to see a whole nation of white.
Real quick.
First off, I just Googled Puerto Rican, and that's what you're promoting is a lie. That is a outright lie.
It's not.
You can see white people that live in Puerto Rico. Sure, you're not going to see a nation of white people. That is a lie. That's not even an embellishment. That is a lie. You said what?
Let me tell you what I mean. Those people that used to be there were dark skinned.
And there's still predominantly dark-skinned people in Puerto Rico.
Listen, bro, when you look at the book, I think it's called The Negro Races, the book Negro Race. Those people that lived in Puerto Rico had black skin.
Yeah, those people that lived in Puerto Rico, just like black people in America and black people in Africa, were various shades of brown.
Yeah, they were black.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. The oldest and purest genetic people on the earth, what skin color are they?
Black.
All right, let's see. Oldest people, oldest tribe, right? Watch this. In the world.
Red.
In Africa. Let's take a look at them. Right? Let's just take a look at them. Let's see if you're telling the truth.
He said black, then he said
or if
red.
you're
because
embellishing hold on, let's go to the facts, man. Chill out. Now, these are the is this person super dark skinned? Some of them Cubans and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans that we pulling up is dark. This brother right here is darker than the oldest African, than the most genetically pure African.
You looking up today? You looking at today people? Look at what the British.
Brother, I'm looking at facts, right? We're looking at people. We're looking at facts that contradict what you've been saying. So now, if we want to talk about the original Taino Indian and how they looked, okay, well, let's go into that. Don't worry about it. I've got the history. I've got the paintings that were painted by the first people that encountered them. Let's take a look at how they look. Don't worry about it. Let me pull this up. Hold on. You gotta deal with this. Slovakia. Where is it at? This is yeah. All right. So let's pull this up now. Let me stop screen sharing this. Let me screen share this. Right? Because one of the original depictions of a war had between the indigenous Taino and the white man, the Spaniard. As you can see, the Taino Indian is being depicted as dark skin, brown skin, and extremely light skin, killing the Spaniard. What is this demonstrating? This is demonstrating a variance. There is a variable of skin tone. Just like those Africans I just showed you, who have not been mixed, who have not been conquered, they're on a lighter scale of brown. So we as a people and the indigenous and the original peoples of the earth have always been various shades of brown, the same way the earth is various shades of brown. That's the point.
Listen, bro, those not Taino Indians.
This is the earliest depiction of Taino Indians. By the first people to encounter them.
I got a book that dispute that, because you see how they got bald heads, and you see how they eating people. These people right here, they got bald heads, all of them.
They're not eating anyone. They're killing Spaniards, and they're balding. They didn't shave their head bald. They were balding.
No, bro, they roasting legs and cutting off their arms and roasting them on the back of that picture.
Okay.
They eating them.
They're burning people. Okay. So was cannibalism practiced by Arawak Indians and indigenous peoples of the Caribbean? Yes or no?
I don't know. You the one.
So if you don't know, then how are you going to dispute it?
I didn't dispute it. I just said I don't know.
No.
I just know this right here.
You're disputing that these people are indigenous Caribbean Indians.
I'm about to show you that this people right here is not Taino people.
How not?
Because it was an event that occurred that caused these people to lose their hair already. It was a radiation event that fucked with these people's world. Okay, and that's how they lost their hair. And I'll show you this in a book when I get home. I'm gonna be honest with you. I cannot listen to another second of that retardation. It's a damn shame that grown black men will convolute and lie and sit here and try to convince people to believe in this level of fairy tale. It is a shame that this grown black man expects me to believe that local city hall, because its doors are so tall, is a pre-flood structure. You mean to tell me that this structure, that if a little bit of moisture, mold will just grow all over the walls, survive the global flood, total immersion? City hall, the mall, that shit gets moldy. And you expect me to believe that?
Can you hear me?
All we've done is present fact after fact through the spirit and power of Yahweh that could totally contradicted and debunked every simple word that came out of this brother's mouth. This man had the nerve to tell me that Hiram lived to be 1,000 years old after the Lord said, if you can last a day over 70, it's because of strength. What in the hell is this Negro talking about? I can't even believe we had to sit through this stuff, man. Deacon, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Damn it, he can't hear me. He keep coming back in. Man, listen, man. All praise Yahweh outside. That brother was out of his mind. I can hear you now. That nigga's crazy. Go ahead.
Oh shit, this is crazy. All right, man. Look, it was pretty painful, you know. Hey, it happens sometimes. It was just supposed to hear the brothers out, you know. Sometimes we got to hear our brothers out, but like the chief said, man, that was pretty painful to listen to. So, I mean, y'all take this as an example of what not to be, and nothing more, nothing less. Chief, take us out unless you got any plug-ins or anything else.
Oh my God, man. Oh yeah, real quick. Let me get a shameless plug, real quick. Real quick, y'all, don't go nowhere, please. Okay, I got to remind y'all real quick. Y'all know I'm in Facebook jail, so because I'm in Facebook jail, I need y'all to go like my like page, Facebook.com/Gorilla Hebrew, spelled gorilla like the animal. All right, tap right in with me. You feel me? Okay, like this page so you can tap in with me, get the likes up. We're going to take us out. Go ahead, Asad. Read that precept, Baba Kushah.
This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
Read on.
For that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Hold on, but he shortened it again after that.
Yeah, and then, Then this is Sirach.
But a nigga lived 10 times more. This guy is out of his mind. Again, the mall. So apparently that new mall that you watched them build, this nigga wants you to believe that was before the flood. You watched them build that new mall. Well, because the doors are so tough. What in the hell are you talking about, man? Like the page on Facebook. Read that.
This is Sirach, 18:9. The number of a man's days at the most are 100 years.
This nigga's at 1,000. Methuselah 969. He outlived Methuselah. But if all is raining during that time, we literally went into that 48 hours ago through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Some of these nuts on YouTube, man, some of these brothers are crazy, man. I don't know what they was doing, man. All right, in good old Detroit back in the day that played with his brain that got him thinking these things he's thinking nowadays, man. But it's pretty sad and awful, quite frankly. Point, precept.
Psalm 92. The days of our years are 60 years and 10.
And 10, that's 70. So you can understand, not 1,000. Go ahead.
And if by reason of strength they be 80 years.
And if you're lucky, you'll live to be 80. This is insanity. Thank y'all for joining us tonight for this beautiful situation room number 25 by the grace, spirit, and power of Abanawi Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushai. I plan to sit this one out in full. I was minding my business in my bed, but y'all know I have a very low tolerance for stupidity. I couldn't help it. The deacon was doing a great job, though, through the spirit. All praises. We're going to close out. All praise Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, y'all, and Shalom.